Good morning. Welcome to the special meeting of the Nicholas County Board of Education, Thursday, March 27th, 2025. At this time, please stand for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we are here to take care of several items this morning. The first one is to conduct a student disciplinary hearing. So do we need an executive session?
I think they have requested this be open.
Yeah, we want everybody
I
involved.
want this an open meeting.
You want to open? Okay, that's your right. Okay.
Jason's gonna lay out some guidelines.
Apologize, Mr. President. I think you had discussion with the family. They do desire what we call an open hearing for the student.
Okay.
That is unique, but that is what their right is. I had an opportunity to meet with the family, discussed a number of things. They're very professional and understood. As part of the process this morning, this board's history is to have, basically closed expulsion hearings, just given the nature it relates to students and other students. And I've talked with the family in terms of they recognize the need as well as administration through the process not to discuss any other students, if that makes sense. And I believe the family understood that. So the family understands that this expulsion hearing in front of this board, a board who has not heard any evidence from the school's administration. It's administration's responsibility to make a recommendation as it relates to your student, and for this board to make a decision as to whether or not to accept the superintendent's recommendation as it relates to your student. So what the process will be this morning is that administration's going to present to the board the evidence and recommendation that's being made for these 5 folks to determine whether or not your student is expelled. And then at the conclusion of that, you'll have an opportunity to present any witnesses and ask any questions of those witnesses as it relates to the recommendation that's being made, okay? And again, if there's any time that we need to stop and address any decorum or otherwise, we will. I don't expect that to happen. Again, you folks were very professional coming into the day when we spoke a few minutes ago, and I appreciate that, okay? I think as part of this process and this board as well is, they want to hear from the family. That's what the students' rights are. And, it might be easy to say no, stop, or we can't get into that. But I think this board will allow some flexibility so long as we stay within the realms of the issue today, and that is the conduct of the student that I assume administration will address with the board, okay? Any questions of the family before we proceed, knowing that, again, it is open. It is kind of a live broadcast on social media or on the YouTube or whatever the school system utilizes for their meetings. Okay, thank you. Okay, and again, my role is here just to ensure that appropriate process is followed. That process involves due process for your student. That's what we call today. And to ensure, again, if the board has any questions or otherwise, to assist in that process. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to the board presidents, to meeting and the board to proceed.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, Mrs. Weitzel.
Yes, I have an opening statement. I am requesting that the Nicholas County Board of Education consider a 365-day expulsion for Mason Johnson enrolled at Summersville Middle School. On Thursday, March 13th, 2025, Mason committed battery against a student. This is a level 3 violation of the West Virginia Department of Education and the Nicholas County Board of Education expected behaviors in safe and supportive schools. Mason's discipline record shows 3 disciplinary incidents this year, including a physical fight without injury on 9/11, disruptive conduct on 11/15. I've included his juvenile summary. You have that. Discipline statements for you to review.
Same thing.
Good. Good. That's fine.
Had mine too.
Well, this is a whole big meeting. Report. We're going to show the other job.
The recording has to stop until.
Report.
Mine's down right now.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, there's no talking, lots of
But
reading.
we can't report another. And all, but we cannot mention kids' name. We can say student. What about?
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. Our focus today is just on the March 13th incident. And I would like to show you a video of the fight that took place. This actually took place at the Nicholas County High School, right outside the auxiliary gym. So we're going to be watching that. See? Can you see?
Can you give them both screens?
I have to go to the program here. This plays the same video.
Can we get that on both screens?
Yeah,
Okay.
in just a minute. See if that'll play it. I'm gonna have to get a media player, sorry. I'm playing 100 videos in here. There's some sound in this video.
Explain this.
I was told that wasn't he supposed to be pulled off? No, that's not the right guy. No.
Ms. White, I don't know if the board needs to get closer to see it again. It's often difficult that first time to see it. If you need to, again, no one's in any rush today. So if you need to explain or otherwise.
You're going to see a teacher come from this hall, I'm sorry, it's not a teacher, it's an aide. And also a substitute teacher came out of the auxiliary gym after they heard the commotion.
And the commotion was over. Yeah. That's not at all what was said.
Would you like to watch it again?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, started out.
yeah, gonna get closer to it so you can see it. Right?
Can you zoom in so we can see where he gets pulled off of him and all the things that was said? Can you zoom in so we can see it, please?
That's software I can't. see.
Ma'am, if we could, just-
Hey, excuse me. This is a meeting of the board and you can't just talk out, okay?
Right.
When,
Particular video.
no, ma'am, the family can.
We are family.
No, they
My
can.
nephew. I mean, it was reported to me as well, but that Mason.
Okay.
let's,
I understand, but this is still, we gotta have it's not just,
We ask questions. That's the question.
you can't.
At all, at any time.
No, only if they,
Yes, he can give us permission to talk. Okay.
but you can't just talk, but they can't just talk out.
I understand you don't want to talk out loud, but.
Right. No, they,
Talk is what you're saying, right?
when it's time for witnesses, okay?
yeah, we're going to follow due process, state policy 4373 and otherwise, which is, I think we're going to replay this video so
Yes,
the
sir.
board members can see it. Ms. Whitesell administration will continue with their presentation of the board, and then the family has their opportunity. But respectfully, as part of the decorum of the process, it is being recorded. So as this is recorded vocally, if there's any court reporter has to do this at some point, background and folks in the audience, now is not the time, okay? Respectfully.
We may need to start it again since we had so much discussion during the time.
Excuse me, you have someone that's recording this currently.
Not at the screen.
And thank you.
There's nothing being pointed to the screen. It's all been straight towards you all. I won't do that. I have a son in school as well,
Thank you.
and I wouldn't want that done to him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Do you need to get closer to that to see it, or can you see it well enough?
I'm fine. You all need to.
Okay.
I would like to call Officer Barnett as my first witness. Can you please describe your knowledge of the battery against another student that Mason Johnson was involved in on March
Need to swear him in. We need to swear in the witnesses. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So do you tell, let me get the paper. Yes, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Could you please state your name and your position?
Yes, I'm Corporal Barnett. I'm Barnett with the Somersville Police Department. I'm the Prevention Resource Officer right now at the Somersville Middle School. I was at the high school for the majority of the year, noted that I just, this week, when this happened, was my first week back at the middle school for the year.
Can you please describe your knowledge of the battery against a student that Mason Johnson was involved in on March 13th?
Yeah, so I was doing my normal duty. I was holding the door. It was right before the first lunch, the sixth grade lunch. The kids were transitioning from the school because they have outdoor classes or they go to the high school for gym. When a high school teacher, the gym teacher, actually called and said that they'd had a fight with our students. So as soon as she told me, I rushed up there, at which point I found the other student. They had him and he had, his face was all busted up. So I grabbed him, escorted him back down to the middle
Am I
school.
allowed to ask questions during this?
And
After the.
in a moment.
Okay.
And then, so I brought him back down to the middle school, at that point, and then they got him, some ice and I believe sent him to the wellness center at that point.
What additional action, if any, did you take as a result of this incident?
Filed a juvenile petition, with the prosecutor's office. It's the only other action I took.
Can you describe your interactions with Mason on the 13th?
Yeah, the only interaction that Mason and I had, after the student was, going to the wellness center, I went to my office and grabbed my laptop so I could review the footage. And I brought it in Mrs. Morrison's office where Mason was at the time. So I sat down and as I was watching the footage, Mason said, "What are you smirking at or laughing at something?" And I said, "I'm watching you beating up a kid that's half your size," which he said, "You work in the school, shut up." And I believe I said, "It takes a real badass to beat up a kid half your size." And that was the only interaction that we had.
Okay. Is there anything else about the incident on March 13th that you would like to share at this time? Okay, thank you.
So at this time, and I guess I should have, you're his dad, so you're representing him. Okay. So at this time, you have the right to ask questions.
Prior, just before the fight, did you walk that child to class? The child that was in a fight, he was in a fight with?
No.
You wasn't escorting no kids to school? You didn't escort my child 1 week after this incident was reported? Miss Morrison wasn't escorting my child to class, and you wasn't escorting the other child to
The
class?
day this happened?
Yeah, you took him to the gym.
No, I took him from the gym
No,
back
you
down.
took him to gym class and then dropped him off,
No,
and then you left.
I didn't. I didn't have any knowledge that they were even in gym class.
According to others, that's what was done after he had reported the sexual assault encounter on his girlfriend.
No, sir, the day that
He had
this
been to the
happened,
office 2 different times
the day that this.
prior
happened,
to this.
Sir, the day that
Now,
this
don't,
happened.
sir.
Guys,
I'm asking you a question.
gentlemen,
Okay.
we need to do the following. Just make sure when you ask your question, give him an opportunity to answer it so that there's not voices crossing back and forth. I go back to earlier, it's being recorded. If it ever needs to be transcribed, a court reporter otherwise will not be happy with us if we're talking over top of each other, okay?
Now, I got a question for him. Do you feel it is acceptable to cuss at a 14-year-old child?
During the circumstances of the fight,
So you
Well,
feel
sir-
that was acceptable to cuss a 14-year-old child?
I didn't cuss it. 14-year-old.
Ma'am, Mr. President,
Yeah,
we're
we
going to
can't
have the discussion from the audience.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I don't want to do this, but if you keep talking out, we have to take you out, okay?
But I'm his aunt, so
I know, but,
and I will wait.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
You have any more questions, sir?
You've got to think. I know it's just,
We're not trying to rush
Yeah,
you. And
just-
How long was you escorted by Miss Morrison to class?
For a full week after I reported it. Because they knew exactly what was going to happen because I done told them.
Not with him, I don't.
My next witness is Miss Morstan.
you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
Can you please state your name and your position?
I'm Amy Worston and I'm the assistant principal at Summersville Middle School.
Can you please describe what steps you took after you became aware of the incident on March 13th between Mason Johnson and another student?
Yes, I was in the cafeteria. It was sixth grade lunch and I was entering lunch numbers. Officer Barnett came to me and said that he had received a call from NCHS and 2 of our students had been in a fight. He had gone to NCHS, retrieved the students and had brought them back to the middle school. At that point, I left the cafeteria to return to the office area to assess the situation. The injured student was receiving aid at the time. He was with a fellow staff member. So I attended to him, assessed his injuries, made sure he was okay. I walked across the hall where Mason was sitting at the table outside the counselor's office. He had already been given ice for his hand. Asked him if he was okay, and he said yes. At that point, I went into my office to make Mrs. Frame aware of the situation. I then contacted the parents of the victim to make them aware of the situation. Officer Barnett had gone to get the computer so that we could view the video. When he came back into my office, he sat down to my left in the chair beside Mrs. Frame's door. He had his computer on his lap. I went to get Mason to bring him in. And when Mason sat down, we said, you know, what happened? What is going on? And at that point, Ryan began questioning him. And that's when Mason told him to shut up, that he just worked at the school because he didn't do his job. I realized at that point that Mason needed a little bit more time to cool off. So I asked him to go back to the table outside the counselor's office and have a seat. At that point, Ryan had the video pulled up. We were able to view the video. We, after watching the video, felt that David needed to report to the wellness center to be assessed. So we made arrangements for that. I went back to check on Mason. He told me that he had already called his mom and that she was on her way. So after watching the video and discussing, we felt that there were injuries that had occurred in this situation and that fell under the level 3 violation of battery. So we typed up the paperwork. The secretary called to say that Mrs. Johnson had arrived and she was available. So once we had the paperwork and the statements from the students, we asked Mason and his mother to come into Mrs. Frame's office, where we at that point gave him the due process papers. Those were completed and they left for time.
So at what point did Mason fill out the student statement information?
He was sitting at the counselor's office. That was when he was having his call while we were reviewing the video.
Okay, so while he was at the counselor's table, he filled out the statement form about what happened. And then when Mrs. Johnson arrived, you reviewed this along with the Weavis discipline paperwork.
There was no statement read to me that my son had filled out. The paper, the copy of the paper that.
So the paperwork was completed when Ms. Johnson.
Yes, this piece of paper and then the piece of paper that typically, I don't know if any of those are in this packet. It has the check marked boxes. I have it here.
Yes, yes, we have a copy of that.
Okay. So you don't need to see that.
Did Mrs. Johnson ask to see the video of the incident?
Not that I recall.
Okay, all right. I have no further questions.
Okay, it's your all's turn.
Okay,
And I would just remind you all again,
I understand.
thank you.
So you're saying that everything was went over with me, making a statement paper, and that was went over with me, correct? Can I be excused to go grab a paper out of my car that she gave me at the school as
Sure.
copies? Okay, great.
Or you have anything while we're waiting?
Heard of this incident happening, how many times did my student come to your classroom with sexual harassment charges to his girlfriend and assault?
Sexual harassment, 0.
0.
That's kind of funny because I came to your office twice about it. You called me in there once that I came here.
And it informed Mr. Kaufman's daughter that's here that was harassed, saying she was going to be raped and killed. So he reported to your office twice, council office once, and several teachers know about this case. So therefore, then he tells me you start walking him to class while the officer is escorting the other student to class. So therefore, we know that there's an issue.
I have never walked Mason.
Yes, you have. You want to look the video?
Oh.
Where's the video at? You should be able to show the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
We have video right here.
Okay, wait a minute.
let's maintain,
We got to maintain the public, whether you're family or not, you cannot speak.
It was not me.
I know, I'm talking behind you.
Yeah.
I'm talking behind you.
I just have evidence is what.
Well, there'll be a time for that and that has to come through dad here or mom, okay? So
and
please, we just want this civil, all right?
We want his.
So, no, you can't, I'm telling you.
Get help for a
Okay,
children.
go ahead,
one
sir.
way or the other.
Yes, sir.
and the student will have an opportunity to address the board as well.
I mean, whether we kick my child out today, however it is that you all see it in your eyes, we're pressing forward for this. These children need to be looked after. And they're not getting looked after in the right way. There's things going off that should have been taken care of a long time ago, or you evidently would not have this many people having a complaint.
Okay, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't, but my wife might.
Okay,
So she's saying that I was aware of what Mason had wrote, right? These are the papers that
yes, ma'am.
was presented. There is no student remark on the copy that she gave me. I was not aware, or I would have questioned her at the time of the meeting.
We'll make a copy of that
You want-
now and give that back to you, okay?
Go ahead, make copies of it.
Please.
Where is it?
Right this minute.
Dude.
My next witness is Ms. Frame.
Ms. Frame, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Will you please state your name and your position?
Christina Frame, I'm the principal of Summersville Middle School.
Can you please describe your involvement in the discipline incident that took place on March 13th, 2025?
I was made aware of the incident as I was having meetings in my office. And the incident had already occurred when Mrs. Morstan and Officer Barnett let me know. And they brought the video in for me to view. And we discussed the incident. And then we did the paperwork. And then when Mrs. Johnson came, we spoke in my office.
Okay. And you have made a request to the superintendent that Mason be expelled. Is that correct? Okay. I have no further questions and I have no further witnesses at this time.
Okay,
I'm gonna put myself in her shoes being a principal and same as for the rest of you. If you sit there and you look at that video, yes, my child started that fight. I mean, it's pretty well evident. I don't teach my children to fight. But I do teach my children that, later on in life, they're the protector of their family, including his girlfriend. Evidently, there's evidence that's not being shown, or my child was not part of it.
okay, let me redirect you. You can make that statement, some more statements in a minute. But do you have any questions for her?
I do. Were any of the three of them a witness who visually witnessed from start to end of this altercation? Did you witness from start to end, from the time the child was pre-assigned to the gym class to the time that after supposedly Mason was pulled off of this child? You guys visually witness any of it? Was you aware of anything that was being said between the two students to provoke any of this at that time?
Watch the incident on camera.
Could you hear what was being said?
No, there's no
Audio.
audio on the camera.
But you wasn't up there, correct? None of you.
We have no further witnesses.
Okay. Would you like to call some witnesses?
Mr. Adam Kaufman.
Okay,
I'm,
come up here, please.
yes.
If you don't care, come up here.
And what we're going to do, again, I think this board recognizes, your desire to speak as well as people on your behalf's the desire to speak. And that we're going to allow that to occur, but let's continue to kind of make sure that we do it without talking over top of each other, okay? And again, I assume this board would entertain folks making statements without kind of you having to ask those questions to an extent to
Correct.
give that flexibility, because this isn't what you do for a living, I assume, right? So continue with it and we'll be, again, give him an opportunity to speak and
Adam
time.
Kaufman, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
And Mr. Kaufman, I just remind you, as we said before, refer to students. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate everyone doing that.
Could you tell me what your daughter has been told by this other student that was in altercation with Mason?
Well, I mean, the first time I've heard about this said student and many times the year, but I really just didn't taste serious what I thought, because the first time I heard about it was Mason texted me at work and apologized to me, but told me what he did. And that he had tried several times to tell leadership at the middle school about the issue. And he was scared I was going to be mad at him. But when he told me what that child had told my student, my daughter, if you're a dad and you got a little girl, I hope, to what extent you're going to do protect your kids. We're all in agreement of that, right? And when I heard those words that boy would rape my little girl, quote unquote, till death, till she dies, whatever. Can you imagine that feeling? Can you imagine? Grown women can't come out and tell about rape, can they? They can't. So I'm sure Mahala's my daughter, for her to come and tell me something like that probably is a lot to ask for if a grown woman can't do it. And they struggle with it. We all know that. Let's not put this to side, sweep anything else underneath the rug. So I went straight to the middle school and I met with Amy and Ryan, and I've known them for a long time. No problems. I've considered them friends or people I like. I know they don't want anything bad for the kids. I know that. But you also cannot turn a blind eye to something that's been obviously directed to their attention several times. You can't. That's why we're here today. We shouldn't be here today because of this. So obviously this young boy, has got some serious problems. It's not the first time. Was he kicked out for pointing a knife on another kid? Was he kicked off the bus last week?
Yeah.
I can't.
Did he touch another student?
Has he?
Get kicked out? Yeah.
Exactly. Other things. I can't sit here and tell you exactly what all he's done. I've just heard too much for this to have gotten this far.
Well,
You guys got a problem on your hands and you need to fix it. Because my little girl was told she was going to be raped to death. And then what I really, really, really don't appreciate is, are you lying like the others?
Yeah.
Really, guys? Gals, really?
where
We're
did
going to ask a 12-year-old girl that?
that come from?
Do we need to discuss this?
That's why we're.
Well, I'm asking,
Leadership to middle school, are you lying like the rest of the girls?
She's a girls.
My daughter as well.
I have another witness that did say.
okay, all right, wait a minute. So, let me ask you this. Well, let's see. Are you finished? Can I ask you a question?
I'm finished until otherwise.
Did your daughter come to you?
over that particular incident, no, because I was at work when it happened. I found out Mason.
Okay, all right, okay,
Had she come about me with this boyfriend, other things, yes.
okay. All right, well, that's kind of off I mean,
Oh, we're not trying to talk about that.
am I gonna have to throw somebody out?
No,
All right, okay, listen, you cannot make comments and the next person that does is out of here. Trooper, escort them out the next time they interrupt, all right? I'm trying to get to the bottom of things. Today, we're here to discuss Mason, all right?
And this is what it's all about.
And we can't, something that's being investigated, we can't discuss that right now. Yes,
Why is it just now being investigated? This is an ongoing issue. It
okay.
should have been investigated.
It has been investigated and now we brought in a third party to do it so that no one in this central office is tied to it, so that somebody completely out of the system comes in, okay? So, but at this time, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Is there a written track record of this young boy?
Listen, at this time, it says due process. We're not going to talk about
That's what we can't keep going
student
back to this
records
other
of
board.
another student. It's his due process. That's why we need
I'm just
to move it along, but
asking.
understand we can't have what's occurring in the back because his rights to due process, there is a right to an open meeting. We take due process very seriously in trying to do what you all have asked and have an open hearing.
And
Am I allowed to ask that? Is there?
what I'm saying is if it was about your daughter, we can't bring that out. We can't discuss that.
I'm gonna take that as a yes, okay, but this ain't a secret with this boy.
Can I,
He's done this for a reason. We gotta understand that. It shouldn't have come to this. Go ahead, Steve.
what I'm interested in is, you said there was a lot of allegations about this boy doing this in the past. And you said, Adam, that Mahala had mentioned to you before.
Mhm.
My question is, did you or any adult go to the middle school administration during these previous times and make your complaints?
No, I never. And for reasons that, speculation reasons like that, when I heard it earlier, the kid, I didn't know the kid. I didn't know the issues he had in the mental. If you put a knife on somebody, you've obviously got issues. And you tell a girl you're going to rape her to death, you've obviously got big mental issues.
But wouldn't,
But so I'm
Okay.
including your question. I have heard him doing other things and I took it as, hey, honey, maybe he's flirting with you. Maybe he's a young boy. Maybe I didn't really know so over the past several months, she has really changed. Like, can you sign me out? I don't feel good to go to school today. This has started and becoming more and more. And I never did really pick up on it, but now I'm pretty confident why now.
my only point is that you're saying that the administration didn't do anything about it. I would kind of like to know if there was any adults that formally went.
Oh, I don't know other than me, but
can I make a motion?
he said
to
more serious
recommend?
allegations
went?
with other kids before mine, of course.
I mean, that's the question. I was just interested if any adults actually went to
In
administration.
the background, raise their hands. Just raise your hands if you.
Okay, wait a minute. So do you have any more questions for Adam? Anybody have any more questions for Adam? Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, Mr. Kaufman, appreciate your professionalism.
Yes, sir.
Now, go ahead, sir. You want to call somebody else?
I'd like to, anyone in the background that has been to the school that has reported an issue, I'd like for them to raise their hands to help answer that last question.
Okay. Let's be more specific. An issue, like it could be,
That's sexual harassment issue from the child.
Have they reported it to? the school?
Has it been reported to Somerville Middle School?
Get those names. Names.
By an adult.
And can I just further ask if, and you can do the same thing. This is helpful for me. Thank you very much. Was it before the fight or after the fight? before?
Before.
Okay.
We
Okay,
need
thank
to
you.
Names these people so we can follow up with the administration.
I think that those who raised their
Your
hand,
name, sir?
My name is Skylar Jones.
Skylar Jones, Skylar.
Yes. SKYLIR. Jones, JONES.
Okay.
Who else?
ma'am,
Lady back here.
Here, Mr. Collins.
And there was one more. Was there one more?
There was three.
Was there a third?
One person had both hands up.
Oh, okay.
So we got the.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Allegations being made against a child. I know you can't bring this child up, but that is what escalated to where we're at now. By law, is our administration not required to report things? If a child comes to them saying, I'm being threatened by rape, or this child has touched me, are they not required to report this by law? To take further action than what they done?
I think we're going down a separate path, but we're talking about, but as I understand, the school system has an independent party to investigate who will meet with all of the folks who have been involved or otherwise, I would assume, and also do a review as to what administration has done during this process as well.
Because my son has also went and said, hey, these are the issues going on before it even escalated out of line. However, the substitute gym teacher could not be here today due to her pregnancy issues, was there. He got a hold of me about all of this. He was escorted to class because he is escorted to class. That other child is, as a protection because of the ongoing issues in the middle school. He looked at that substitute gym teacher when he seen Mason, Ryan Barnett, shrugged his shoulders and proceeded to walk away. I have it in writing on my phone from the message from that substitute gym teacher who was there. He witnessed it.
The only thing, and the only thing I can say is that whether it's your son or whether it's somebody else, you can't take the law in your own hands. And
That's exactly right. He didn't take the law in his own hands, because first he went to the principal's office.
but
Now, wait here a minute. When you're a child, what do you go to? You go to your parent if you have an issue.
Or
If you can.
Where does, my child is in your all's protection when he goes to school. So therefore, he brought the issue to the principal's office. Okay, then the second time it was brought to the principal's office. Okay, then we go to the counselor. We go to the teachers. Where else does it need to go to? How many times does it need reported before this happens? Evidently, after a while, you have to stand for yourself. Because if no one else is there to protect you, who do you have to protect you but yourself?
And there's a law that others are allowed to defend people who cannot defend themselves.
And the sexual allegations that started his girlfriend, he was standing up for her.
and I get that. I understand.
That's exactly what he was
But what
doing. I do not want my child to hurt somebody else. And the child that was a victim to this fist fight, I don't want to see him expelled, but it'd be nice to see him get the help that he needs. So this wouldn't keep going on in our school system.
What I'm saying is this, if I report something to law enforcement and nothing's done about it, and I report it and nothing's done about it, and I report it and then I take the law in my own hands, and then I'm going to be held accountable. That's my only point.
Well, I understand that.
I mean,
Yeah. But why can't we do something when it is reported?
well, and the thing of it is, I made this statement one time to the chief of police in Richwood. I said, and he's no longer with us, but I said, Larry, I said, why don't y'all bring in a special investigations team to investigate this? And he looked at me and said, how do you know we're not? You know, because I said an undercover investigative team. And he said, how do you know we're not? So one thing when things happen, everybody has a due process and you can't just, if somebody accuses somebody, you can't just wipe them off you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it wasn't just an instant wipe off the man. How many times do you have to come? It wasn't the same day issue. This was an ongoing issue.
Months upon months of.
Listen,
Right.
any other, again,
Yeah, do you have any other
Just-
witnesses?
this is new to you.
May I? Oh, shit.
Right on up here, sure.
Okay, are you talking or are you witness?
I'm a witness.
Okay,
I'm here on behalf of my niece, who goes to Summersville Middle School, or
Okay.
was your name? Emily Jones.
No. So I want to swear in the witness and
Emily Jones, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My niece goes to Summersville, or she was enrolled in Summersville Middle School until this past week. Her mother took her out to Berkeley and Green because of all these things that are happening. And I'm also a mother of two young girls who are in elementary school. And my niece has told me she has heard multiple times of a said student saying vile, disgusting, despicable things to other female students. And as a woman myself, and as a mother of future young women, it is incomprehensible to think of them being told these things. And it's scary. And that saying you're going to rape someone, that is the same to me as a gun threat. And if you do not see that as such, then you have never had a woman in your life that has ever been in trouble or has ever had that said to them. And if there was an intruder at the school with a gun, this boy would have been considered a hero if they tackled him to the ground. And that's the fact of the matter, really, is that you cannot, if you do not hold one child accountable for something that has been ongoing the entire school year. My niece told me this has been something happening all school year. That you cannot hold a child accountable when they stand up for their girlfriend or other students who are incapable to do so.
Were any of those incidents that you heard about ever reported to the administration of the school?
I'm unsure.
Pardon me?
I'm unsure.
And what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Emily Jones.
Emily.
And what were the dates and who were the people?
I told you I'm unsure. It's my niece and her friends.
But your niece has reported it.
I'm certain. I'm not positive. That's why I'm saying I'm unsure.
Well, we need to know that.
See, that's what you get into, and I'm not taking anybody's side on this. I'm not.
It sounds to me like you are.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is everybody has due process. And just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true. It absolutely does. You can have 10 people say it, and the problem is sometimes these kids will say things.
Excuse me.
And just a second.
No, I'm not done talking.
Okay,
I'm so
just,
sorry.
but
No,
in
I'm
a,
not done talking.
in a second, what'll happen is they go to the video and they realize, well, these kids weren't even in that area. And I'm not saying that all kids are liars. Go ahead.
You cannot tell me that there's 15 plus students that are whistleblowers in that school.
Well, that's first number I've heard.
Well, then hopefully there will be people that come out, they'll be able to give you a satisfactory number for you. But for now, I cannot do that. But I've said all I wanted to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
I've got another witness, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It's in regard to this ongoing issue that escalated to where it's at. Kira Jones, if you'd like to come up here, please. And her father as well.
Hello,
Kira
Kira.
Kira.
K-E-I-R-A.
Kira Jones, do you excuse me. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Well, as you know, you wanted a witness, or you want somebody here to say, yes, I have gone. My daughter right here is a prime example of a child that is a straight A student that no longer wants to go to school, that I've had to put into therapy over this boy. She is gone. I know for a fact she's talked to these two. I'm sorry. I'm a little shaken right now.
Oh, you're fine.
I don't know this boy very well. I commend what he did on the record because I have asked, her mother has asked, we have tried everything to get this boy the help that he needed. He's starting to rape her. He's touched her. She's right here. You can ask her. She's under oath. You know, when you have to have a 14-year-old child step in to do.
That's sad when you're old sport.
Yes.
I can't do anything. I'm an
And I'll just
adult.
tell you that right now. It makes us all look bad with them.
It breaks my heart that there's so many kids. Her friends tell me in confidence as well. I can't speak on their behalf because I'm not their parent. I am her parent. I am fed up and sick of this. You have done nothing to help these children, these young women. This gentleman here, this young man has more brass than all of you combined.
And the thing about it is, she's the one that has to go home and lay down in bed at night and have this on her thoughts. And there ain't a thing about it being done.
Well, what I want to say is this.
Don't laugh.
It's disgusting.
You keep saying you all, and this is the first we've heard about this.
This is the first you've heard about it.
This is the first this has been brought to us.
Girl will come to the principal and the vice principal. Should there not be some paperwork on file that should have landed on your desk?
She's not the only one.
She's not the only one.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
So again, we have done our best to afford the family an opportunity for what we're here for today, and that's.
This is
process.
This is what we're here for.
I understand, and beyond that,
No, this is exactly, this is what we're standing up for.
You didn't do your job.
beyond that, he's entitled to what we're here today. I know this board and I know this administration, whether folks agree or disagree, we understand that other things are occurring to review and investigate beyond this particular incident.
This particular incident,
And what we're here for today is a recommendation for an expulsion of an assault under level 3.
That's right.
And the witnesses are here and they've been heard, but the board, again, I know this board does not want to be divisive to the community otherwise, and you've done a good job of being listeners well beyond what might be entitled to. So we don't want to say we can't go that far, right? You've been heard and there's additional avenues that'll be followed. But again, this is going beyond the sole purpose of what's on the agenda today. But I don't mean to say that by saying, I don't mean to say that they're not listening. These 5 board members are listening, correct, Mr. President?
Yes.
let me keep my decorum by saying the reason we are here is for this child. In his defense, we thank this child. I know there's other parents here that probably can't be here because he had it at 8:30 on a weekday. I took off work to be here for this child because of merit of character. This child did something you could not. And I understand your vigilante semantics that you talked about earlier, where you know, if you do the wrong, you know, I apologize, I'm a little worked up. You were talking about if you go and break law or whatever. You were talking about that earlier. He's a 14-year-old child that has defended, I don't know how many girls. I know mine and I know her friends. And the buck stops with you all, the administration. You know, if you're not protecting the kids, why are you here? This is supposed to be a safe learning environment. It's sad that a 14-year-old child has to be the one to stop a child predator that will grow to be an adult. And all you have done is allowed this child that it's okay.
Okay.
That's all I have. That's all I
Okay.
have.
All right. Thank you.
Protect my daughter. Do your job.
Okay, where's Kelly?
I'm right here.
Do you have anything?
I have a closing statement if they have no other witness.
I mean,
Okay,
I mean, everybody out here is a witness leading up and
I would like
to where it escalated.
I think the state board said that we could speak, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. It's an open meeting. It is, and they said as many.
no, wait a minute. It's open meeting to a point. You can't just talk out, okay? Whoever's,
I have a question for you.
okay.
What is funny? You keep
Yes.
laughing.
Constant.
You laughed at.
No, no, that was,
I don't understand what that's about.
No.
This,
I wasn't laughing at. No, I was not. What I'm saying is we keep bringing other people in, and I know that's what y'all saying.
Bringing other people in.
You're-
I understand, yes, exactly, but we're bringing in the people that he stood up for.
Okay, well,
I mean,
and
Because there's an issue that hasn't been taken care of.
and if you have a daughter.
And if there's a sexual, if she has a case at that school, there should be a file of it. Do you have a report of her incident from the school?
You say none of you have been aware of any.
There's a law
So there's.
to that. It has to be reported from
sir, the way,
her and him.
the way,
It has a change.
the way these hearings work, we don't see the evidence before his file, you saw him pass it out. I was not privy to that until this meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Take it into consideration.
Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Sure, absolutely.
And so I have nothing on her because I've never met Kira.
Yes.
I've never met her. So,
But why is there, if there's this big of an issue, if an issue like this comes into the school system, why can't it land on your desk or his desk
see,
or the next?
that's another,
Why can't it land there?
that's another misconception. The board does not have desks. We do not, all we do is we meet twice a month. There's some people out there that think board members have a office here.
No.
Yeah. And they think,
6 days a week.
I got you, and I do too. But here's the thing. We don't have offices here. We meet twice a month normally to conduct the business of the board. And so everybody's saying, well, you all knew this, you all knew that. No, that's what we're having this hearing for. Okay. So
Well, now you're aware.
do,
So, Mr.
But
Mayor,
shouldn't there still been a police report filed if there was a sexual assault case at the school?
yes.
Yes or no?
when I taught school,
I'm not talking.
when I taught school, if something was brought to me, then by law, we had to report
You
it.
have to report.
okay, Mr.
Do
Bean,
you have a report on this young lady?
We don't get those reports
I'm
once again.
asking for you.
Mr.
Is there
Bean.
a report on this?
I don't know. That's where you're at. I don't know.
These guys are here.
But
Mr. Bean, would you know if there's a report being?
The only time I get things to when they,
I ain't asking the one that you got. I'm asking about the one that the Somersville City Police Department should have filed or whoever was in charge at the time. If there was something turned in at the school, the proper paperwork was turned in, is it on file at the police department? You should have some kind of record of that.
I don't have any record of anything like that from the police department. I don't have anything, I don't have anything like that. When I get involved is when, okay, if a principal suspends a student, it doesn't come to me. If a school investigates a situation at their school, it doesn't come to me. It comes to me when an expulsion is recommended. That's the only time I get it. I don't get suspensions, detentions. They'll send me a note and say so-and-so's in school detention. That's all I get.
so if they're getting allegations made.
Now, let me finish. Okay. If I get information alleging any kind of misconduct that's severe, okay, then I turn it over to our investigators here at the school level, which is what I did. Mike Williams and Chris Henshaw are the two people that's designated in our school system to go out to the schools and interview students.
When did they interview?
Just recently.
Yeah, I mean, this has all been a whirlwind for the last 10 days. And so they went out and Mr. Williams, you're in the back. Can you just tell me approximately how many pages of testimony you and Mr. Henshaw took?
Mr. Bean, we interviewed a few students, interviewed 4, and I took a couple pages, shared that with the investigators and still investigation. Mr. Henshaw, in regards to yours.
I took a couple pages and in reference to our investigation, it was because there was a safety concern for a student. It wasn't directly investigating those allegations.
Okay, thank you.
So there wasn't investigating all of the allegations that's been brought to.
I guess the name, and I don't know because, like I say, Mrs. Weisel is my assistant and she gets involved with that, but we assign them to go out and find out what's going on, for lack of a better term. Okay. And basically they interview the kids that we get the names about. You know, we don't just pick out kids. We just figure out if where the allegations come from or who happens to be involved or who witnessed something. They do that. Well, after this was completed, it became apparent to me that the public was not satisfied that anything is being done, even though we can't advertise that stuff, an investigation. Okay. So when I was under the impression that I was not to be satisfied with the results that we came up with, no matter what they were, no matter what we would recommend, I didn't think that people would believe what we were doing. That's it. When I took the step myself to reach out to the Mountain State ESC, actually I called Mr. Long, our attorney, and I said, do you know of any outside agency that I could get to come in with a fresh set of eyes that has no skin in the game? They're not from here. They don't know any of these kids, and just take a look at this and see what is actually going on. He recommended Leslie Tyree, who's with the Mountain State ESC. She's an attorney also. I reached out to her that day, and within an hour, she reached out to Mrs. Frame and said that they would be conducting an investigation. I got an email from her yesterday or the day before, and because I kept pushing it. This was on Friday, I think I talked to her. And I've talked to her through emails pretty much since, saying, when will this investigator be coming? We do have the name of the investigator, and they are coming very, very soon. I don't want to say what day because their schedule could change. But she did tell me that we're putting this at the top of our list because of the urgency that I subscribed to her. And I said, we need this addressed now. And so that's the steps that I have taken in this position. And when those results come back, we will have them to share that with the board, and we will proceed with whatever information we have. I can't act on something I don't have to act on.
Another question.
Sure.
Sexual allegations made against a child. Should that child not be removed away from the people who are scared of him until
The investigation is done.
they just now removed him?
Can I do that?
So they don't get involved.
That's my question. Girls are scared to go to school. This child is getting escorted to classes as protection for him.
I got paid for therapy over this child from my daughter.
Students not in school any longer. Okay.
That's my question. Why they've had the allegations brought to them. They continue to let the child that the kids were scared of stay at school.
And again, I think that may be where there's a divide. In other words, what your indication is potentially what's at the school level and in terms of what will be reviewed by an individual that we have no connection with whatsoever.
I understand it's being reviewed now.
Just please take this in consideration for this child.
And what you're here for today, and I understand it, and some of the folks and all the folks here that are here on behalf of your child, again, is they're asking the board to give consideration to the action he took in terms of relief from what's being recommended for versus expulsion. They understand that. And again, to look at and determine, one, if there's issues that they don't occur in the future, and if there are issues, to address what did occur in the past. So we can sit in here and assume that things are swept under the rug or otherwise. I'm sure you've known the superintendent for a number of years, well beyond this county, and that's not going to happen. But what we're here to do today is a difficult decision, a recommendation as it relates to the student's expulsion. Ms. Weitzel has an opportunity to kind of say something here at the end, a conclusion of sorts, and then, you know, you two, mom and dad, or the student, take an opportunity to do the same. The board then goes into executive session, discuss, and kind of make a decision. That decision will be presented to the family members. But again, I want you, because this isn't something you're accustomed to, deep breaths, think about, again, your opportunity to kind of address the board before they have to move on to make that decision, okay? And I appreciate your all's professionalism. I know things have been difficult in here. This board didn't have to allow certain things to occur today.
You did.
But that,
In the State Board of Education.
Yes,
You did. Yes, you did.
I mean, in terms of,
Once again, you can't talk out. It's not,
I'm just saying that they have allowed the statements and things of that nature and been informal, even though it's a formal process. Student, okay?
In light of the situation, we came here on behalf of this child.
Yeah.
What we're here for the record. Now, we've also brought up some other things, but this boy, I honestly feel has saved my daughter. So I commend him and I want you to take that into consideration when you make your decision. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Let me ask one question. This incident, I understand, is very volatile and I'm sorry. I really mean that. I understand your passion. I understand I've got grandkids in the school system also. And I'm also sorry for our administrators and stuff, because I do think they're trying to do a good job. And we're going to get more investigation as this goes on. I'm just not the type that I won't drop it either. I'll talk to Mr. Kaufman about that or whatever. We're here for the suspension hearing before Mrs. Weitzel makes her recommendation and we go into executive session to discuss it. Mason, I noticed clear back to 22 and 23. I'm not talking about this particular incident because that still has to, be determined. But trying to give weight to the situation and trying to explore everything, I noticed that you did have some either anger problems or, you were in.
no.
Well, it's part of the record.
According to the law, you're supposed to. You were not allowed to go past 3 months.
I'm just asking, when we go into executive session and I've been presented a record.
Yeah, you have.
And get through it. I just didn't know if you had anything to say to that.
I do.
Okay.
I do, because you have grandkids or kids.
I
right?
do.
They are in school, correct? Any
Correct.
boys or girls?
They're boys.
Okay.
I had 3 daughters.
How old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
They're in middle school.
They're in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay, kids progress from a young age up. At times they all.
Oh, they do. They do.
Everybody does.
No, I'm not.
That's everybody's.
No, I agree. I just want to know if before when we go in and debate, because I've got a whole record here. And it's the first time I've seen and stuff, if you had anything to say to that. And you're telling me that.
He has passed. I mean, of stuff, but I mean, as far as being angry, there's several other accounts. It's the same thing that should have probably been taken care of. And well, like the recent one that he was sitting on in ISS because he didn't want to sit at the furry table. Now get real, people.
Right. Some of the.
I mean, now, if we'll be cats and dogs, right there's the door. We sit outside.
Yes.
And I mean, that's.
I don't understand this thing.
You don't know what the furry table is? It's children that wants to be cats and dogs that wants to be animals.
He didn't.
That's what I think.
I've heard a little bit about
He
that.
refused to sit at that
He
table.
refused to sit there.
He got lunch detention.
So he got lunch detention for it. Now, that's pretty wrong in my.
And I want to throw out there, I have a 16-year-old son. Okay, who was bullied so bad in middle school with nothing done after reports and reports, who made comments about taking his own life. He is on Prozac every single day now. And he has been homeschooled for 2 years due to the middle school bullying, anti-bullying policies that they supposedly uphold.
And if we go and
It's just not
investigate, he was sent a picture of a knife on a school tablet saying he was going to be stabbed to death on a school bus. And there was no investigation. We cannot pull that up, we was told.
are the words of Chris Hanshaw. So if you guys can dig so far into this, that was a death threat toward him. And I know that's not regarding this case, but it all stems back to the things that are let go into the middle school. The middle school turns a blind eye unless you're a certain person with a certain name, you're not going to be hurt.
We can do things different. I ain't sitting here saying the school system we have is bad, by no means.
And I'm not saying it's good. I mean,
It's by far good, but we could do a whole lot better.
we could.
We shouldn't have kids that's having to come up here and sit over this situation right here.
Well, you've answered my question. I
Miss-
appreciate that.
Ms. Weitzel, now would be your time to conclude and a recommendation. And I think all of,
Oh, the little girl wants to speak. I'm speaking.
Okay, so I have written this, it's before right now, but it is, I have a picture of it. Excuse me, can you speak up really loud because they're recording?
Microphone work. Is that for?
Yeah.
Karen, if that's something you prepared and you're going to state it, if you want to send a copy to someone as well, so that they have it.
Okay, we have it. Would you care to come over here and stand? Is that all right? The recorder is under here, that's why, okay?
If she's close to a mic.
Over here.
And do you want your dad to stand with you?
The people who address the board.
I'll just read it right here.
Okay.
As someone who has experienced the fear of sexual threats by Joel David Ball, I understand this difficult position Mason Johnson was in when he defended a girl under the name of Mahala Kaufman. From David Ball, David's harassment and
Man, Karen, you can't mention names. I'm sorry. Just kind of skip over the names.
violent threats, including the horrific threats that he threatened to rape me, was not empty words. When institutions fail to protect victims, people like the boy over there are left with no choice but to act. While physical violence is never ideal, his actions were a need to protect this girl. Expelling the boy for defending the girl sends the wrong message. It suggests that those who stand up to the abusers face harsher consequences than those causing the problems themselves. Instead of punishing Mason, the focus should be on holding people like the boy accountable. Victims deserve to feel safe, and those who protect them shouldn't be treated like criminals. The boy's actions were not at all reckless but brave. In a society where too many victims are ignored, his choice to intervene should be recognized for what is an act of protection against a failing system.
And Karen, correct, you're seventh grader.
Thank you. Mrs. Weitzel.
Yes, I would also like to have Mr. I'd like to call Mr. Hanshaw's over control, please. Because through this process, we have learned that as a system, we need to do better about letting students know what resources that are available and have currently been available, but somehow we have not got this message out appropriately to students. And since we had several parents and students here, I wanted to go ahead and share this. This was a app that was created, and it's pushed out to every laptop, and it was pushed out to iPads when they had iPads, but now it's pushed out to laptops. So it's become apparent to me when we had a meeting with another parent earlier in the week, and actually I did not know that it would already exist, because I went immediately from that meeting back to Mr. Hanshaw and said, hey, can we develop something? And he said, we already have it developed and it's pushed out to the laptops. Well, in talking with the parents this morning, it became obvious, Mason did not know that this was available either. So we have not done a good job of letting parents and students know of a resource that is available that they can either anonymously, or they can put their name if they want further, if they want additional follow-up or information. So I wanted to take this opportunity to let Mr. Hanshaw speak about where it is on the laptops and how students can use it and the process.
So when we manage all of our devices, we push apps to everything. This has been around since everybody had iPads. So I'm guessing it's been on every device for 4 or 5 years. I don't remember the exact time that we pushed it out. But it's in the same location as all their other school things are. They can either search it on the search bar, or where all their other shortcuts from their schools, their apps are uploaded using the iPad and the computers. So, and when they fill out this form, it immediately sends an email and a text to the administration of the schools and says, here's the issue. And that way it gets their attention as quickly as possible.
Could you kind of show what that would look like on? I do want to also mention that the Nicholas County High School has a separate app that's called Stop It that they use. This app is used middle school down for students and or parents. Parents can report things too. But again, it's become obvious to me that we have not done a good job of letting parents know what resources out there that things can be reported on, because the 2 parents I've talked to this week did not know that it was available. So I am going to suggest to Mr. Williams that we have the counselors when they go into classes, and also PE and health teachers, that they bring this up and they do a session on this for every class, for every student in school. And I would also encourage our administration at their PTO meetings or their parent trainings, that they bring this up just like this and let parents know where it might be too. Because it's not only important that we let students know where it is, but we also let parents know where it is. So I just wanted to mention this at this time. Do you have any questions for?
I have one more person. I would like to speak. I mean, I just want to say that well, swear me in. I'll tell the truth. I don't care.
That's good.
I swear to tell the truth.
Wait a minute, what's your name?
I'm Heather Pishner.
Heather
Pishner. Oh, yes,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't care what you do pertaining to this, if he needs to be expelled, but I will tell you this. I have a son who graduated from Nicholas County High School as an outstanding athlete. He top 3 in the nation in basketball a couple years ago. Okay. I have a son right now in 9th grade. Okay. I have my boys do the same exact thing. If we need to, we fight. We don't run, we fight. And I fight. I don't care. I'll tell you, I fight. I don't care. Mason has had problems with containing himself previously, as your book you all got stated. I mean, he has. There's nothing about it that you cannot see in there.
I've never denied it.
I will say this. He has been so much better. He's doing so much better. But in our family, they all know me very well. I will tear the walls plumb off this building if it came down to my son. And I can't imagine what I would do if I had a daughter. Okay. I've been to them actually last year. My son got jumped by 2 children last year. Okay. I know this isn't what you're wanting to hear, but I'm just trying to give you an insight. He's a school athlete. He can't protect himself because automatically he would have lost his spot on the basketball team. To me, that was unacceptable. I went to the school. They know me. They seen me coming. Holy crap, what's going to happen? I just told them, we've got to do better. Everywhere. there was a teacher in the classroom at that time, just as well as things have been, whatever's been said, there's teachers walking kids to school to try to prevent things. Teachers can't prevent it. If it doesn't come from, everybody has to work together, and you all need to get on the same page. And if there's issues, you need to fix them. So that way kids don't feel like they have to fix them themselves. I mean, my son got jumped by 2 boys, and I took the video to the school and showed them. And it was awful. I can't imagine what they feel like watching that video. But in my opinion, that was nothing different than what happened to my son last year by 2 children. And they got less time by far than what you all are wanting to give him. And there was 2 of them on 1 child who never could protect himself. I know he has a past, but we cannot live in the past. And he was doing what he felt in his heart was the right thing to do for lots of little girls who trust him as their friend. They come to him and he's got a girlfriend. And those things were said to his girlfriend. That is terrible. I just want you to understand he is a good boy. The school doesn't care for him because he was labeled as a troublemaker. And I understand where they come from in that. I do. And he's my nephew and I love him, so I'm going to take up for him. But in our family, we fight hard for what we love. We fight hard for the things that matter to us. And over the years, I've really calmed down a lot. So I've taken a step back and looked to see that.
So is Mason.
Right. And that's the thing I'm asking you. Just take it into consideration that what he did, yes, it was wrong in all aspects. And none of us have ever asked you, oh gosh, that was terrible. You gave him 10 days out. Well, no. And I know I'm not allowed to say this, and I'm going to say it anyways. There's been 2 altercations with this same child previously, and they did not get the trouble that Mason is looking at for that same child this year. With that same child this year, they got less time because Mason is labeled as a troublemaker. And he's outspoken. Yeah, he said something to Ryan Barnett. He did. He was mad. Anytime you're mad and your adrenaline's going or whatever, you're going to speak out of turn. You're going to smart somebody off. You're still in that other place. Everybody does it. They do it. Everybody does it. You do it. Everybody does it. I don't care. So yes, he does things. He smarts people off. He's a good boy. He really is a good boy. And without him, who knows what else could have happened? I'm not going to speculate. I don't care. But I just want you all to see he is a good kid, and expulsion is very extreme for something that you all have not. I've never seen a kid expelled for things like this. And the fight to me wasn't even that bad. But my son got the crap beat out of him by 2 kids, and neither of them got expelled. 2 last year in your schools, and didn't even get expelled, neither of them. I had to beg for the boy that recorded it and put his own face on camera and then turned it back around as they were preparing the fight. My son had no clue. It was all on video. I had to ask for him to be suspended as well, because that went everywhere. It was horrible. But stuff like that doesn't get an expulsion. 2 on 1. And your school athlete who represents your school. And he's a great athlete, actually. So stuff like that, I just don't know how certain things are one way and certain things are another. And I just really want you all to think about expelling a child who stands up for things that he believes in, because that's where our family comes from. We are good people, hardworking people, good people. We pay, we do what we're supposed to do. And that's all I had to say, but thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you.
Ms. Weitzel. Letters, please close it out.
She wants to speak up. Clay's been trying to speak the whole time.
Can I say something?
There's a couple more that still want to talk.
Please.
So.
It won't be long-winded like mine, I'm sorry.
President, do you want to allow that?
Megan Wood Smallwood, and I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody here's a mandated reporter, right? Everybody, right?
Everybody's what?
A mandated reporter, correct. You're employed by the state, you are mandated reporters. You have now heard her side, the child, right?
Who's recording us? All right.
Right? You've heard her. All of you have heard her. Please do your jobs. I'm asking you. Do your jobs. All of you. You heard her, right? Correct? Will you do your job? I'm asking. Will you do your job?
Ma'am, this
Ma'am,
isn't
ma'am.
an atmosphere for that.
I'm just asking.
They understand their
This is
obligations.
the way It came this far. We would never be here if they'd done their job. This child got in trouble for a knife last year, threatening to kill someone. Why is he still in public school?
Okay,
There's an alternative school, correct?
ma'am,
Correct.
we're not
I'm
going to talk
asking
about
questions.
other students, but state policy.
But I'm just saying,
43 was followed.
if this was handled the way it should have been, we would not even be here.
Hey.
That a child had to take it into his own hands when there's several reports of this child being an issue to several children. And we are all mandated reporters. And everybody here has now heard on video. You can't say you haven't. So I'm asking, do your jobs. Protect these kids, please. Because this child shouldn't have to take it into his own hands. And that should make you all feel some type of way. Because we're voting you all in and you're not protecting our kids. So what do you all have to say for yourselves? Thank you.
Present due process has been afforded. I think it's time.
More lady.
I'm Ashley Kendrick, and I'm here to tell the truth.
So that's
I have 5 children, 2 who go to the middle school at this moment. I have 1 daughter who is 19, and I can honestly say that she's kind of been through the same exact thing that these girls have been through, starting in grade 6. A lot of it was pushed aside. She was an athlete. She couldn't take up for herself because she would be in trouble. Yes, she took up for herself because unlike, when she was in school, no one really wanted to take up for anybody, but she was strong enough, unlike some of these girls, to take up for herself. She did what she needed to do to protect herself for the same exact things. And you're going to expel Mason for taking up for someone who, yes, maybe it was wrong, but he did what he thought needed to be done to protect the girls from what this child was saying. My 6th grader has seen messages on his girlfriend's phone from said boy. He listens to his girlfriend every evening complain about this little boy. I don't think they're here. I think they all had to work. But it's a serious situation. This child took it upon himself to take up for someone and several someones, because our children do not think the administration at the school is safe to go talk to. If they go to the school and they say something is wrong, they are told to stay away from that child, stay away from this person. I know my son had an incident yesterday where he was in a class he wasn't supposed to be in because there was a student in another class that he's not supposed to be around because she runs her mouth and starts trouble. Okay, there's a problem. Take the steps to fix it. That's why Mason did what he did. Expulsion is completely, I feel like it is a terrible punishment. Yes, give him his 10 days or however many days of expended. But really, you're going to expel a child who took up for girls and protected them. That's definitely what he did. It's something that really, truly needs to be talked about.
Contact.
Hey, what was your name? Okay,
Your recommendation to the board.
In closing, it is my recommendation that the board consider an expulsion for Mason Johnson for the battery against a student. These actions violate policy 4373, behaviors in safe and supported schools.
What about violating all the
Okay,
rights?
excuse me. At this time, do we need an executive session?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You'll go through yourself.
Mason, speak.
I think it's ridiculous.
He protected the little girl.
He done what he felt was right after following the required steps. The required steps by,
He took required steps as far as the day he stepped into that office and he reported it not only once, but twice. A police officer, to a counselor, he took his steps that he was supposed to. In my eyes.
they failed.
Just because you sit there and say that, well, yeah, you can't take matters into your own hands. Well, you didn't take matters into your all's hands.
Yeah.
And when you didn't take matters into your all's hands, you didn't take care of the business. So it got proceeded far enough that he took care of it himself. No, I don't want him to do that. I don't raise my child to do that. But I'm going to raise my child to be a protector the same as you would your wife, your kids, same as my wife, my kids, the same as the next man. If someone walks up to your wife and they threaten you with a threat, what's going to happen? You're not going to just stand there. It's not going to just be probably let go. You're going to stand up for yourself. The same as everybody should. And it shouldn't have had to went that far.
And he's not a troublemaker.
And he's not a troublemaker. Yes, he's an ornery child. I grew up on a farm my whole life. I've let my kids run wild through the yard, bare butt. I mean, since they just little kids. But, you know, we have fun, but I also teach my kids right from wrong. I don't expect my kids to sit and just hand fist punch somebody. That ain't happening. But if my child stands up for what is right, his father is going to stand behind him. And that's why I'm here today. My child stood up for what is right. And whether it's in your eyes or whether it's not. But he did. He stood up for exactly what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because you all did not take matters in your own hands and stop it before it happened.
Amen.
They can sit here and say what they want to, but why would my child up and sit there and say that we was escorted to class?
Yeah.
Why would that even be going off? If they was escorted to class, there is an issue. Why would you pre-assign a student into another class that there is an issue at? Why would that even go off? It shouldn't even be happening. Because we overlook it. We just let it go.
Thanks for making a motion.
And another thing, they claim that they're not escorting. There's video, picture proof that they are escorting.
Yeah.
That's what the kids see us.
They are escorting. So they were very much aware of the issue.
But because they're.
Forward with. Do we have do we have a motion for executive session?
I'll make a motion for the executive session.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'd like to ask one question. Can I ask one question before?
Sure.
Of the administration? Have you ever ignored serious accusations and not documented them or acted on them in any way?
Yes,
No, sir. Okay.
Well, now that's documented.
And have you ever picked on a child because of some prior problems?
Ma'am.
No, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say? Okay.
I'll second the motion. We move into executive session.
Okay, motion by Mr. Green, second by Mr. Ferguson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At 10:33.
You do that in here. Alvin's making out.
Not good action.
Hang on a second. There we go.
Do you want this?
I'd say it this way.
Better do it. No.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to come out of executive session?
So move.
Mr. Moose makes a motion, seconded by?
Second.
Second by Mr. Green. All in favor? Aye. At 10:52.
Based upon this disciplinary incident, I recommend that the student be expelled until the end of this school year and be allowed to start ninth grade at Nicholas County High School, provided that the student attends evening ALC Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 6 o'clock, have satisfactory grades, regular attendance, attend developmental guidance in the ALC, and have no disciplinary incidents the rest of this school year.
I make the motion that we agree to that.
Okay, Mr. Moose makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Ferguson seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion unanimous. So do you want to send them a copy of that?
Who they want to speak with?
No, she's gonna give you a copy of this.
She can mail it to me.
Okay. Okay. At this time, we have action items. You all are, feel free, more than welcome to stay or whatever you'd like to do. Action item 1, discussion with possible action on accepting the bid with Swoop for the Nicholas County Sewage Project. Total projected cost, $1,073,141.
Saying it for you. It does. Where's that little boy at?
So the sewage project bid is on your device.
We can't close the door. Yeah, we have to leave it because I'm going to give them a hole.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Christine.
Heads up. Heads high.
Gentlemen. Hey, ladies, are you all leaving? Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say, never mind. Any questions about the sewage bid? Any discussion?
Are we gonna get the 73,000 from FEMA? Can we use that? Or just,
This is an MIP grant, and the 75,000 was coming out of local cost. It was what we put in our project, so that it made it a little bit more appealing for them to finance.
They always want you to kind of put in something.
We put that in actually at the end of last fiscal year because we knew that we were getting this.
Right.
So here's what I asked, the total, it includes another $57,000. Do you know what that's for, Kelly?
Is that the contingency?
I'm not sure. I just knew there was the amount of the bid and then the amount we're paying ZMM. Was there an additional part on top of the bid?
It says contingency.
It says contingency.
Yeah, it's just the contingency.
And that was 57?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's actually $1,800 under.
Under bid.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not getting it. So yes, we're still below after paying ZMM. We're still good.
Okay. Any other discussion? Do we have a motion we'll vote on these separately. Do we have a motion to accept the project bid for the Nicholas County High School sewage project.
So moved.
Ferguson makes a motion, second
Second.
by Mr. Moose. Seconds. All in favor?
Barry, I'll tell my little girl when I get home. I'm disappointed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? B, discussion with possible action on 21st Century MOU reapplication for the Summersville Elementary School and Glade Creek Elementary. Golly River, sorry.
Could somebody summarize that?
Yeah, we partner with Sandwich Urban and we write 21st century grants to support after-school programming in the summer boost camps, those two schools. The current grant we have now will end in June. It's the end of the 5-year cycle and it's time to rewrite. So we're going to resubmit that grant, and as part of that grant, they want an MOU. The last time we did it, we had one for the county. This year, they've developed one for the county and one for the individual schools, but the principals did not want to sign it without your approval first. And you have a copy of both of those. But basically, it just says that we're going to be partnering, they're going to use facilities. We will continue like some of the things that we do in kind, like when we are reviewing student achievement and progress. We share data with them on how the after-school program is going. They share information with us, those types of things. So just a continuation of what we're already doing if we get the grant.
Okay, now, is it just for these two schools or will,
It's just for these two schools right now.
right now? Okay,
We have a separate grant that funds the ones for Cherry River and Birch River, and they are finishing their 3rd year. So we'll do another grant for them again in 2 years.
okay, thank you.
Do we have a motion to accept the 21st Century MOU?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Berry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion unanimous. And so personnel, we need a motion for executive session for personnel.
So moved.
Mr. Ferguson makes a motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Moose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye at 11 o'clock. To come out of executive session.
So moved.
Mr. Moose makes a motion, seconded by? Second by Mr. Berry. All in favor? Aye. At 11:38, there were no decisions made in executive session. Do we have a motion? Do you need to present anything else?
No, I just want to point out that Courtney Martin is for next school year. So she'll remain in her position till the end of this school year.
All right. Do we have a motion to accept the personnel agenda?
I make a motion that we accept the personnel agenda, including the termination of employment of Devin Amick as a substitute service personnel.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Berry. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. I don't have to say that.
You're used to saying that.
I'm used to saying that. Okay, so do we have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Green makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by?
Second.
Mr. Berry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye at 11:39.
Thank you. Yeah, kids will take it.